think about these questions, talk about them together, and then we're going to talk about it as a class afterwards. So I have questions on the board.
Do we read the whole thing?
Yes, you can go ahead and read the whole thing. One second.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and then when we are done reading, you can just get with your partner and talk about the article if you had any questions about anything that you read, and then try to answer the questions that are on your board, that are on the board.
test one burger.
Yeah.
Which was that?
Is that what the
Did y'all have a good understanding of the article or have any questions?
Food irrigation is basically
Is that y'all understanding what the article is talking about? Both of y'all had a good understanding of the article, have any questions about it? Okay. Alright, so it looks like we're kind of wrapping up talking about this. Can one of the groups raise your hand and tell me the answer to the first question or what you think it is? Awesome.
Raising the heat in lab testing each burger. Oh, one burger out of every batch.
Okay, can you kind of go into more depth about
Um,
what they were saying a little more?
Well, they suggested that increasing the temperature would effectively kill the E. coli in it.
Okay.
But then with the new strain, they can't effectively get it hot enough and still be able to serve the burger to kill the E. coli.
Okay.
And then
There you go. Okay, so someone suggested that they raise the temperature up to kill the E. coli, but with this new strain that they're having a problem with, they can't get the temperature hot enough. Like even temperature doesn't kill it. So what was another suggestion that they said?
They said that they could test one burger out of each batch, but that doesn't guarantee that the other ones aren't contaminated.
Exactly. So the batches are pretty large. If you only test one out of them, there's not saying that there's not a contamination somewhere else. Okay. So what is food irradiation? What did you get out of the story?
The process of applying gamma rays to food in order to kill harmful bacteria.
Okay, basically, yeah. Alright, so, in this article that you read, they said that they both had gotten faxes from different viewpoints within the company saying yes, irrigation is good, or no, don't use it, it'll kill our image in the media if we use this. So I'm going to kind of pass out the faxes that they received. Like they're a lot shorter on this. And you can just kind of take a look at them. And you don't have to read them independently if you want. You can just talk about them as a group. Alright, and then I have a couple more questions for you to talk about also with that. So you're talking about the comment at the end of it?
Concerns? It shortens lives. These people. Yeah, you're right.
Using it for years. It is
Fitness.
This one's more polite, this one.
Yeah, and I feel like it's
That's some bacteria, and it is not helpful. And you're concerned.
Or at least for our time.
Seems like they don't know what to talk about either.
These people are the
They
concerns.
set up that
They
way.
give us the government.
Or-
They threaten.
You know,
They're trying to shorten their lives.
Okay, so these were 2 faxes that were sent into big people up in the company, issuing with concerns. Alright, so, and one of the faxes from the, American Consumer Association, they presented some benefits of radiation. What were some of the benefits they named?
It can reduce, the bacteria by 99.9% in a single dose.
Okay, yeah, so they presented some factual information about how, it could reduce the bacteria. Anything else they listed?
Well, did you go over the, there's no radiation left, there's no radiation?
Yeah, so they say that there's no radiation left after this radiation technique.
And even if you consume 100% of irradiated food, it showed no ill effect.
Okay. So they presented a case study. What else?
It showed that it's been used for over 40 years, so it has like some background with it, and no like bad cases came up with it.
Okay, yeah, so they kind of presented a lot of factual information to say why there'd be no effects if you use this, and it actually helps to kill the bacteria. Okay, so on the other side, what were some of the concerns that people had about using this technique? Yeah.
Well, they thought that it was, the government set them up and everything, but they were concerned that it actually did harm people and would shorten their lives.
Okay, so they're concerned about the effects of the radiation, that it can affect the human psyche. All right?
They were concerned that it used radioactive waste as the element of getting rid of the pathogens, therefore it's toxic.
Okay, so they're concerned about it being toxic to eat. Okay, what's that?
Seems like they're ill-informed.
They're a little ill-informed about the information?
Well,
Maybe.
yeah, seems like they don't have a lot of things to back up what they say either.
Okay, so even if some of their information isn't factual, this is someone's opinion that they gave the company. This is a large group, and this, if they choose to go with the radiation, this is how a lot of people feel about it and think about it. So, if you were Ronnie, the main guy over this company, and you have to give a press conference tomorrow saying, what is your company gonna do to ensure that this never happens again? That y'all don't have an outbreak and have another incident where people die, what would you tell the press? Do y'all have, you can talk about it with your partner, like, get some ideas
Using
flowing.
radiation.
Oh.
That's what I think.
Or even if it's not to use irradiation or to use it, or you haven't made a decision yet, what could you tell them to say that you haven't made a decision yet?
We're considering these people. We're considering multiple options, ensuring the safety of consumers.
My priority is.
Make it really political.
That's people.
Consider.
Alright, Andrew's group, what would y'all say in order to protect the reputation of your company? What would you tell people?
Well, I mean, I'd tell them we're looking into irridating, our patties, just, you can't really say a sure thing yet, just because, obviously the board hasn't decided a sure thing to do, but.
So maybe it's not a sure thing yet, but you're looking at the other techniques?
Yeah.
What else?
We said that, we would be, we are in the process of considering, applications of how we can, never see an incident like this again, because our consumers are our top priority and we want to keep them safe.
Okay, so kind of the same thing, you're considering ideas still.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, what about y'all, y'all have anything different to say?
No, pretty much the same.
Pretty much on the same level, so we're all kind of agreed that, when it comes to today's, culture, it is very hard to get across to the media, about these new techniques and consumer awareness. And, so we have to be very careful when we present this information, to the consumers, that they're not misinformed about information, and that you also are trying to keep them safe at the same time, so you want to use the best practices. Alright. And so just to kind of review today, I know we talked about a few different things. Could someone name a tip that you would use in your own house to prevent food contamination?
Washing my hands for 20 seconds with warm soapy water after I touched raw material.
Alright, very specific, but yes, wash your hands. Alright, Rebecca?
Not to defrost things on the counter.
Okay, not to defrost.
Don't use the same cutting board for different things, like if you're cutting meat, then don't go behind yourself and cut the whole thing.
Rewash your utensils and some materials after you use them, before you use another food product on it. Alright, what about on a production standpoint? What are some of the things they use to prevent foodborne illnesses?
Steam.
Steam, okay. One more. Vicente, you can name something.
Oh, pasteurization,
Pasteurization. What about something that we talked about today that we didn't talk about today?
high pressure.
High pressure, okay, there we go. So, that's gonna lead us into our lab next week, where we're actually gonna do, some food products ourselves and practice these, best management practices to prevent disease in a kitchen. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, so Bo, you can go ahead and start getting your stuff set up, and then, Kelsey, what did you like about that lesson, and then what are some areas in which you think you can improve?
I like that I kind of had like a real world situation so they could read about and see how, like, even though we have a viewpoint, like, yes, we believe maybe irradiation is good, but it's hard to get that idea across to consumers. I don't like that. Maybe it was just awkward because I was standing up here with nothing to do. Like, I felt like it took forever to read, and maybe it only took a few minutes, but I was just kind of waiting for everyone to get done. And maybe as a teacher, I would actually be able to do something at my desk while they were doing something, but there's just kind of a still moment.
Comments?
I really like how you use the case study. Allow us to connect and put ourselves in the shoes of having to deal with us food safety situation.
I feel like you had a good pace on everything, getting papers at the right time.
I felt like the information was really good, but it was like a lot to read. I think you did,
Yeah.
I think you did it better the first time when you had to like go to each one and write outline or something like that.
Okay, yeah, instead of reading it all at once.
I think you could have gone more in depth about the, like, at-home food safety and industry. Like, you did good covering it
It was
in
just kind of
broad,
like a
broad, yeah, but I think you could have got more specific
Okay. I was just trying to think of-
and some pictures.
I
I
think
think
it-
the visuals for like the
Yeah.
PowerPoint. Cause it was like a little wordy as well. I think the visuals were like really good.
Good, anything else? So I really like that lesson as well. I think the case studies were great. I think they really fostered communication with the groups. That's what we were really looking for with this teaching method, is to get people talking and answering questions and asking questions in groups. So I thought you did really, really good with that. If there's one thing in which I think you could have improved upon, that'd be the interest approach.
Yeah.
Because with your interest approach, it's just pretty much a review with some review questions.
Mhm.
I thought that was good, especially since you had the candy, right? Like everyone likes one of the answers and the questions now. So that's good if you use candy sparingly. However, remember, an interest approach needs to be something that's almost new and unique that kind of relates to what you're going to teach about. So I think you need almost a review and an interest approach. So sometimes you can tie the review together with the interest approach, sometimes you can't.
Yeah, when I was doing my lesson plan, I was thinking about something, I didn't actually come up with a new interest approach, but I didn't want it to be like
Yeah.
I didn't know how long the case study would take, and I didn't want it to be like
Sure.
a 30-minute lesson.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
Yeah.
Kind of played it
And it's always tough, and it can even be just like one quick picture or something. And you know, as a teacher, you could make an interest approach even like a minute. That's fine.
Yeah,
But
I
just
think I need
something to
work
go,
on adding
just,
visuals.
yeah, so just something where students are like, oh my goodness, and then you jump into the objectives. So you just like review, interest approach, objectives for the day, and then like your material. Yeah, good job.
This raw facts is golden.
They're gonna be if they do use radiation, they're gonna stand with picket fence. Did you see that at all?
Yeah, I saw the lives of the rest of your millions of consumers depending on you. It's just messed up to say the rest.
Any extra sweethearts?
Yeah, I recommend you.
I gave out all my lifesavers to you all.
Is there any more? Yeah, thanks.
So, Counselor, where did you find the
Yeah, I
case
don't know.
studies? Did you just
That
look it up?
website from Scott Class.
Okay.
I
the,
literally just searched food and like brought up a whole bunch of case
Do
studies.
you have to sign in
Okay,
for
cool.
that? Cause I tried to get one off of that one, cause I got one from somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I was kind of Google case studies.
The kid's name is Bo.
And then that website popped up and I thought it was the same name he said in class.
Can you fill out the first?
Science something studies.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And they're like.
There was like, nothing popped up like food recall or anything, so I just put raw and then I read through
Wait,
it.
how do you spell it?
It's like,
R period D period.
You're kidding.
No.
That's, oh my god.
but it didn't, this one didn't have questions, so I had to come up with
RD.
questions.
R D
Like some of them did.
Davis.
That's interesting. I have never heard
It
that.
doesn't say.
All right, Bo, you ready?
That's
One
very
minute.
interesting.
Okay.
Alright.
Whenever you're ready, you can start.
Hey guys, okay, so today, talk about greenhouse integrated pest management, or IPM, but first, what we talked about yesterday, we talked about light effects on plants. So, next up, we're gonna talk about IPM. So objectives for today, know what integrated pest management is, or IPM, and how to properly identify a problem in a system, and the different methods for controlling pests. So first, we're going to start out with, oh, I clicked on the wrong computer. Yeah, okay, so yesterday we talked about, light effects on plants, and today we're gonna talk about the objectives. So, know what integrated pest management is, how to properly identify a problem in the system, and the different methods for controlling pests. Alright, so first, I'm going to pass out these specimens for you to look at. Have you guys form into groups. I'd like you guys to talk about the questions I have on the board. Make out a little piece of paper, write down, label 1 to 5, answer these 3 questions, and then talk amongst yourselves after about 2 minutes. you can label whichever insect you want, whichever number. Just remember what number it is. Please be very careful, they're fragile.
Yeah.
What do you think about looking?
Pretty much they're all pests, I hate insects. But, yeah.
Would you like them?
Okay, about another minute. You guys can kind of talk amongst yourselves.
They're bugs. We're talking about this.
Yeah, that's
What you
long
said
time.
was cute.
That's long time. Yeah, so I'm good, and you guys know if we count the right color. The right flower.
Yes, because it looks very similar to like twig girdler, which not twig girdler, girdles, shoots, and was a turnip tree. So
Okay.
that's why I said that.
So we'll start with this group. So what were you guys thinking? What one, do you guys see any pests in your group?
We didn't get through all of them, but personally I have 3 of them as like ag pests and
Okay.
1 of them as just a person pest and then 1 not a pest at all.
Okay, okay. So, why or why not?
Well, I got this little fly over here.
Okay,
I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I called him a pest, but not an agricultural pest,
okay.
because I don't know that he affects plants too much, but I can see where he would be a pest to a person just sitting outside.
Okay, it's a situation, okay. Alright,
And then I said these 3 were pests because, well, 1 is a mole cricket, I know that. They like eat roots and stuff. 1 is a weevil, and they will go in and eat plants and stuff and ruin your crop. And another looked like a similar bug that I knew to be a
Okay.
pest, so I said he was a pest. And then this last one over here, looks like a flying praying mantis, so I assumed he was a predator, so he was
Okay.
good because he ate all the pests.
Very good. What about you guys? What do you guys have? You guys have any pests? What do you guys think?
To me, yes, because I hate bugs, so they're all
Okay.
pests. But scientifically, that big ant could possibly be a pest.
Why would he possibly be a pest?
I just feel like, A, if he ever bit you, it would hurt really bad.
Okay.
B, I think he's a wood-burrowing ant, so obviously.
It's carpenter, yeah, good,
Yeah,
good job,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
he could use wood in the house.
Yeah, very good. He can damage your home,
And-
okay.
and that would be good. Definitely. Or trees outside, so.
Definitely, because so maybe that can affect the outside of your house, maybe a
Yeah.
branch falls on your house. That can be a very bad day.
Yeah.
And so, how might you guys control these pests? Because actually you guys hit it on the nail. Any of these can be a pest. A pest can be anything that is not, that can interfere with you or bother you or that you don't want. And so, how might you control these? Pesticides,
Predator.
what?
The predator, that can-
Predators, what you guys?
We said the same thing, like a chemical spray to kill them, or like a poison put out that they could eat, or like put an insect on to eat them.
Okay, good job, you guys. Those are some good ideas. So this leads us right into our lecture about IPM. And so the key points of IPM is integrated pest management. Integrated is like, it's like used for a bunch of methods that go together to build like a whole program. So it's like a complex kind of arrangement. And so that's the integrated part. Pest is an organism that can be, like detrimental to humans. So like, ants, maybe they bite you, that's a pest. Or maybe they chew in your house, that's a pest. Maybe they eat your crops, bite your dog, kill your animal. That can be detrimental to humans. So a pest can really be anything. So, and then management, it's like that's the decisions that you go about to decide upon what you're gonna do to control those. That's the integrated pest management. So it's a complicated way of controlling things that bother you in a very simple way to put it. And so IPM has a couple steps to determine, what is a pest and how you do it. First, what's normal? Is this really a problem? Can you guys see where this can be a problem maybe? What do you guys see here?
A bunch of beetles on a corn stalk.
Yeah, so
Corn ear.
So this would be normal, and this would not be normal. And so these beetles are actually Japanese beetles on a corn silk, and they're chewing on the silk and they're damaging the corn. So that can be very detrimental to the crop, and that can have a lot of damage to it. So that's not normal. So determining if it's normal, so we determined that this is not normal. So what's the problem? What do you guys think the problem is? The problem is
That it shouldn't be there.
they should be there. Okay. Anything else?
Decreased crop production.
Decreased crop production. What if there were a native species that was there?
It wouldn't matter to your crop production.
Well, maybe there's too many of them. Maybe. What do you guys think? Yeah. Okay. So how and what does the pest attack? So it attacks that one specific crop. So you're identifying what it is specifically targeting, and so you know where you're gonna find the pests. Next, how many pests are there? So are they in overwhelming numbers? Or only just a few of them where they're controllable, not really bothering your plants or your animals or your house? So maybe it's like you have a home and you have like a fire ant outside, but there's not too many of them. There's only one of them, but it's not really bothering you that much. And so it's within a threshold that you can find. And so you need to, after that, you need to determine what your action threshold is. That's like if you have too many. So that's determining whether or not that you have like a yard full of fire ants or you just have one mound. What, for this situation, is your max that you want? So, that you need to choose the appropriate management for the pests, so maybe you spray them, maybe you, if that's what's necessary, maybe you find out predators, like you guys were talking about with the praying mantis, that was a predator, maybe that could attack a specific type of prey that might attack your crops, so maybe you might release a predator to attack them. And so then you need to choose the appropriate for your situation to make sure that is the correct one. And then to review your work, to make sure that, was it effective? Did you get what you want done? Were there any side effects? Like if you spray, that can be very damaging to the environment. So usually, well, most of the time, IPM, the goal is not to spray. And so only use that when absolutely necessary, and only the smallest amounts that you can. So the important concept, so it's economic injury level. So let's say you have a crop, so like we're talking about the action threshold. So if you're within the threshold, because the act that it would damage your crops the amount that it would be beneficial to spray them, that's the economic threshold, because that's the amount that you hit that you would probably need to, so you don't get damaged